All right, let's talk fantasy. Let's talk Vikings. And, of course, the top man at the top spot, Adrian Peterson. Universally, a 1 or 2 pick.
Yeah, no question. It's either going to be Le'Veon Bell or Adrian Peterson. I know he missed all of last year, but the dude's a cyborg. We don't have to worry about him. Have you seen him in training camp? I mean, he's more yoked than ever before. And I love that he's playing in Norv Turner's offense.
Yeah.
Listen to this stat. In his last 14 seasons as either an offensive coordinator or a head coach, Turner's system has produced 8 top 10 fantasy running backs and 11 top 20 fantasy running backs. And I would wager that Peterson will be in the top 5 at worst in 2015.
Gotta like the floor.
Yeah, look at this point. Adrian Peterson can play in my offensive system, and I'd still take him as a top 1 or 2 pick in fantasy football. Yeah, remember a few months ago we were all big on Jerick McKinnon as possibly being the guy? Not anymore, because whoever plays behind Adrian Peterson generally doesn't see the field.
Very good point. You know, the reason I'm high on a guy like Adrian Peterson is the fact that he's got a great young quarterback, maybe one of the best quarterbacks he's had since Brett Favre. I know you're extremely high, Adam, rank on Teddy Bridgewater. You have him ranked higher than Peyton Manning.
You know what? I base that only on the facts. And at the end of last season, from weeks 13 to week 17, Teddy Bridgewater outscored Peyton Manning, and I expect him to outscore him again this season. He's coming into his own of this offense. When he entered the NFL out of Louisville, he was the most quarterback-ready prospect coming into that draft. We saw it at the end of last season. If you played daily fantasy, you were cashing in each and every week. So this year, with Adrian Peterson running behind him, it's going to make his job so much easier. And you add in some guys like Kyle Rudolph right there. Mike Wallace joins the mix. This is going to be a very potent offense, and I expect Teddy Bridgewater to have a fantastic year.
There might not be a quarterback at his age with more upside in fantasy than Teddy Bridgewater.
All right, let's talk about the wide receiver position battle. Mike Wallace, Charles Johnson. We saw Charles Johnson emerge late last year. Who do you like coming into this year, Fabs?
I feel like Mike Wallace gets a bad rap.
A little bit.
He finishes in the top 20 in fantasy points among wide receivers every year. Okay, sometimes he's a little inconsistent, but I think he's better than Charles Johnson, who, despite all the hype, still hasn't put up huge numbers at all. So I'm going with Mike Wallace. Remember, Bridgewater throws a very nice deep ball, and how does Wallace make his hay?
That would be deep.
In the vertical passing game.
I'll go with Chuck Johnson, because at the end of the last season, he was the better receiver. Well, obviously, Wallace was an OT, but they really had a chemistry at the end of last year. Norv Turner has talked at great length about him stepping up this season, so I'll go with him.
Marcus?
Nobody's stepping up for Cordero Patterson.
No. How dare you?
How dare you?
I'm going Mike Wallace. I think he has a huge year getting out of Miami.
All right, there you go. That's our fantasy preview for the Vikings. Be sure to sign up for fantasy football right now at NFL.com/fantasy. We'll see you.